Are you getting into card making, or you've been doing it for a while and you're thinking, this costs an absolute fortune? It can cost an absolute fortune if you let it, my friends, but getting started making cards does not have to cost a lot of money. In this video, I want to share some tips for getting started on a budget, choosing products that you're going to get a lot for your money, and choosing products that you'll be able to use often. Getting creative, maybe substituting certain things if you don't have certain supplies. I have a lot of tips and tricks in this video for how to save money as you are getting involved in card making and adding supplies to your collection. I'm Anna Hellman. I'm so glad you're here. This video is part of a series I'm putting together on how to get started stamping. If you're new to it, if you're experienced, I'm sure you can learn some things from this as well. Make sure you subscribe so you see the rest of my videos. I will talk some about how to earn money from crafting. I'll talk some other things about saving money, investing wisely in products, earning money. So make sure you're subscribed so you see my upcoming videos. Let's get started. I'll talk a lot in this video about carefully choosing which products you choose to invest in at the beginning, or choosing ones that are going to save you money and really you can get a lot of use out of them. But one of the great ways to get started if you are on a budget and trying to save money is with kits. I love kits for a lot of reasons. They help you to build up your ink pads and your stamp sets on a budget, and you don't have to purchase all the things. You don't have to have a paper trimmer. You don't have to have every tool under the sun, because a lot of the pieces, or all the pieces, come in the kit already prepared for you. I just thought I would show you one kit here that you can see kind of the idea of what you get. We have card bases, we have envelopes, we have some die cuts. With this kit, we get pre-printed greetings. Now with some kits, you'll get stamps, you'll get the embellishments, adhesives. Pay attention to what you get with certain kits. I'll have links to the products I am sharing in the video description below so you can take a look. But with other kits that are out there, you may want to pay attention, make sure you know what you are getting with it. Instructions. Kits make some really amazing projects. I think these cards are so cute, and I thought I would share. Here are just a few projects that I have made from other kits. I have a lot of fun with the kits, even though I have all the supplies for card making. I shouldn't say all the supplies. I will never have all the supplies. But even though I have lots of supplies and I love to get creative, I do love to make these cards from kits as well. So just thought I would share those. So there are kits that you can pick and choose what you want to create. And then another fun way that is great to space out your spending is a monthly subscription kit. So this is an example of our monthly kit. And when you open it up, it's all nicely wrapped. It's always a fun surprise what's going to be in here. You get an ink spot each month, a mini ink pad, and a stamp set. So you can build up stamps for different occasions throughout the year. And then when you open it up, it's the fun surprise of what's going to be in here. And this one in particular is a kit for some beautiful butterfly cards. So all the pieces and parts will be in here. The card bases, the matching envelopes, the die cuts, the stamps, embellishments. So kits are a great option if that is something you're interested in. As you're deciding what products to purchase at the beginning, I really encourage you to take a look at my first video in this Get Started Stamping series, which was what products you actually need to get started stamping. I broke it down into different levels of level 1 products are the ones you really have to get started. Stamps, ink, paper, for example. And then as you want to get more involved, I made recommendations for what other products to purchase along the way, so you don't get all confused and all lost in needing all of the dies and embossing folders at first when you don't need those to get started. You also want to think about ways to get more for your money. So here are several ideas on that. One is to choose assorted paper packs. So instead of purchasing whole paper packs of one color, choose assorted cardstock packs. With designer papers, instead of choosing a pack that has, let's say, mostly fish and ducks and lily pads, choose a pack that is going to have a lot of different patterns and a lot of different images so that you can use them for a lot of different occasions. So these, for example, in my opinion, would be more appropriate for lots of occasions. Men's birthdays, women's birthdays, thinking of you, congrats, whereas this pack might not be quite as versatile. Now let's look at stamp sets as we're talking about versatile products. And as you're choosing stamps, definitely think about which are the ones that you can get the most use out of. So as you're choosing your first stamp sets, I really encourage you to look at ones that have some nice images in them, like butterflies, dragonflies, rainbows, all of these images over here, and also some nice greeting stamps. So choose ones that have a nice assortment. So for this, we have the sun, we have rainbow, we have dragonflies, these cute little decorative stamps. You could make a card just with this stamp right here for any occasion you want to, if you want. But look for those assorted images and the assorted greetings. So the greetings in this one, for example, we have birthday, we have thinking of you, thank you, one that talks about hope, you brighten up so many of my days. This one right here has lots of occasions throughout the year. So these would be great ones to get started with because you could get a lot of use out of them for a lot of different occasions. Let's look at two more groups of stamps as we're talking about stamps, because this is kind of the base of a lot of what we do, right? Stamps, ink, and paper. You're probably going to want quite a few stamps over time, but when you're getting started, you really need to be selective about which ones you're adding if you're on a budget. So greeting stamps are so important. You're going to want to add greeting stamps as you go along with this. And these are some great ones that include a lot of really nice greetings in one set, which can really help to get you started. Now, as we're looking at products that are versatile, I thought I would bring three in that may not seem versatile at first, but if we think about things creatively, I think these really are versatile sets. So this is a set that I would use if I didn't have very many stamps and I was looking for more ways to use them. You could use this set throughout the year. It would be great for masculine cards. I think it would be great for thinking of you cards, and you could use it throughout the year by changing up the look of the trees. So maybe for a wintry card, you could stamp the trees in white onto some darker cardstock. For other times of the year, they could be green or other colors. So this is one that you could get more use out of than you might think of at first. Leaves, this is another one. Change up the color you stamp the leaves in throughout the year, and you can use this for all kinds of occasions. And then this one, at first glance, I would think of this as a set just for children. But as I look at it, I actually think I could get a lot of use out of this because these cards could be for anyone. We could use the spaceship or the helicopter and sending love. I think the paper airplanes are great, that these would make great cards for anyone that say hello or thanks or love you lots. And I have other sets. I will use these greetings on other cards as well without these. So just look at your stamps and try to choose ones that will really be versatile and help you make a lot of cards with those same stamps. Let's talk about how you can save money by improvising. We're creative, right? We can get creative with the supplies we're using to save money. So let's say you don't have a trimmer yet. Okay, when I started scrapbooking when I was in high school probably, I did not have a lot of tools. And you know what I did? I traced things and I cut them out with scissors. So if you don't have a trimmer, you can use a straight edge. You could use a ruler, the edge of a magazine, something straight, and cut these pieces out with scissors or a craft knife. Let's say you don't have punches and you don't have dies yet. You don't have all the fancy tools. Same thing, use some stencils. You can find the stencils inexpensively places, maybe even find some at a thrift store, garage sales, and trace around them, use your scissors and cut out. It takes a little bit more time, but it definitely works if you are on a budget. Some other ways you can improvise: embossing folders. If you've seen the embossing and die cutting machines and the amazing things that they can create, they absolutely can. And I have not tried this myself, but I have seen where you can use embossing folders without a machine. Put your paper inside and use a rolling pin over the top to apply pressure and emboss your paper that way. So that's a great idea of something you can try. Now, an acrylic block. As you're starting stamping, you're definitely going to want some acrylic blocks. But let's say I've been in a situation where I've taken some crafting supplies with me somewhere and I get there and I forgot my blocks. Of course, I remember everything else but not my blocks. So let's say you don't have enough or you forget it, you're going somewhere stamping. You can substitute other things. So this is what you attach your stamp to do your stamping. But if you forgot it, or if you don't have any, or you don't have enough, you can actually attach your stamps to something else to stamp. Now, my best suggestion is a drinking glass right there. It needs to be one with a flat bottom. If it's not flat, it doesn't work quite right. But this is a great way to improvise if you don't have enough blocks or don't have any in your collection. You can use other things. You can actually use, I've been in several situations where I don't have my blocks with me. You can use an ink pad. Doesn't work quite as well. Anything that's not see-through isn't quite as easy because you can't see it. But anything that's flat, you could attach a stamp to stamp if you need to. What about a bone folder? We use a bone folder to give our cards that nice crease like this. But what if you don't have one? I have substituted lots of other things for a bone folder over time. You can use, actually, the acrylic blocks work really well. I've used the rounded part of the handle of scissors, my fingernails. Okay, there are other ways to get your cards to lay nice and flat besides using a bone folder. Something else to think about is where can you go small? Where can you choose smaller products to save money? One example is with the die cutting and embossing machine. I love this mini machine. It comes at about half of the cost of a regular size machine and still allows me to do some amazing die cutting and embossing. So that's one idea. Ink pads are another great place to save money. Mini ink pads still give you the colors. They're just a little bit more work to do your inking with. You have to press a few more times, but that's okay. So you can get these mini ink pads in assorted colors. The other thing you can do is choose uninked ink pads. We actually have those, and I'll have links to all these things in the video description below. Uninked ones with an ink refill bottle. And once you have this ink refill bottle, these last for a long, long time. You can do a ton of stamping with one ink refill bottle. So that's another way to save money. Other ideas, I mentioned this a little bit ago, but thrifting. Check out thrift stores, check out garage sales. Every once in a while you can luck into finding a garage sale that has loads of craft supplies at a great price. What about finding a crafting friend? I know lots of people who have that crafting buddy that before they order any supplies, they always check with their friends. And I'm going to order this and you order that, and then we'll share supplies and we can trade sometimes. You can borrow my stuff or we can get together and craft together. And that's a great way to make your crafting budget go farther. Getting rewards. I encourage you to shop somewhere that you get rewards. I have a rewards program. My rewards program will be changing in the next year or so, but you can get details on my rewards program below. Shop where you get rewards, my friends. What about getting a discount? There are ways to get a discount on your craft supplies, so that's why I signed up to do this crafting thing originally was because I really love the products and I didn't want to pay full price. So I signed up basically as a distributor to get a discount on my supplies. So that is an option. I have a team full of people who are mostly doing this just for fun as a hobby to get their own supplies at a discount. But then there are some of us who do what I do, or do classes in person, or sell their cards, or do some things like that to help earn some money as well. But I'll have information in the video description below if you are interested in getting a discount or taking advantage of those opportunities as well. So there are lots of ways to save money on our craft supplies. We do not have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to get started making cards. I want to help you get started on the budget that you have to work with. So at the end of my videos, we always talk about something about life. I try to share something to offer you some sort of encouragement today. In this video, I just thought I would share a little bit about my faith. My faith, I feel like, is the only thing that has gotten me to this point in life. Have you been through some hard things? I imagine you probably have. Me too. And there were times that I was not sure how I was going to keep going, or how life was going to keep going on. But my faith has carried me through. So I just thought I would share a little bit about that. There are lots of different beliefs. I am a Christian. I believe that Jesus died for my sins, and that because I have accepted him into my heart as my Savior and asked for forgiveness of my sins, that I will get to go to heaven as a result. So why do I believe this? There are lots of reasons that I believe this. My family was Christian. This is how I was raised. So that's part of it. But there have been a lot of things that have happened throughout my life that have really strengthened my faith. There have been those moments throughout life where I say a prayer, and in an instant, whatever I prayed for happened. The first time that happened was as a kid. I had a horrible headache in the car. We had gone to my grandparents. We were on our way home. It was late at night. It was dark. I had this awful headache, and I said a prayer, and it just went away at that exact moment. And I was like, whoa, that was interesting. So anyway, that was my first experience with that. I've had that happen several times. I know when we pray and we pray and we pray and we get frustrated with prayers not being answered, we want those moments to happen. They don't happen all the time, right? So there was that. I was in a car accident when I was in high school that, looking at it, it seems like I probably should have died. It was very scary. I got a helicopter ride to the hospital. And as I was in the emergency room and all the people were rushing around and doing their jobs, and it took me several days after the fact to go back and like remember all the pieces and parts of that day, the ones that I remember. And I remembered this, and it just didn't make sense at that point that the whole time I was in the emergency room, there was this man just standing by my shoulder. I'm laying on the bed. They were all taking care of me, and he's just standing there quietly, just standing there, kind of like keeping me company. And the whole time I was so scared that I was going to die. When I knew they were care flighting me to the hospital, I was so afraid I was going to die, because they don't put people in helicopters unless it's serious, right? That's all I knew. So I just wanted someone to tell me I was going to be okay. I just wanted someone to tell me I was going to be okay. And they weren't talking to me. No one was talking to me. They're talking to themselves. They're doing their jobs. And finally, after a long while, this man says, "They think you're going to be just fine, honey." And looking back after the fact, you know, they don't pay people to hang out by your shoulder in the emergency room. Like, that was my guardian angel. So there have been a lot of things that have happened through my life. My husband had a terrible accident here several months ago. Seems like he probably should have ended up dead, paralyzed, or broken. And he was very, very lucky or blessed. All that happened was a broken arm. He had fallen 20 or 25 feet from a lift while he was trimming trees. There have just been a lot of things that I could look at as coincidences, but I don't believe they're coincidences. Yeah, so that's a little bit. Now I get stage fright sometimes, and then I don't know what to say because I just come and I talk. I try not to rehearse these things when actually the reason I do this talking about life thing is because I felt like the Lord had been telling me for several years that I was supposed to be doing this. And life had gotten pretty hard in our family here the last year or two. I actually took a break for about 6 months from my stamping business. Those of you who have followed along with me, you know that. And when I was praying and why aren't things getting better? And God, so there were some moments where I was yelling at God, like, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? Like, I believe you want me here. I believe this is where I'm supposed to be. This is our family. I believe you're going to make this work. What do you want? What am I supposed to do here? And several times I felt like the answer was start talking. And this was, I believe, what that meant, that I'm supposed to be here and talking to all of you and offering some encouragement to you. So I know there are a lot of different faiths and a lot of different beliefs. We have connections with nature. We have lots of people who probably believe in God or believe there is a God, but that may not involve Jesus. I really encourage you to do some research. This world covers up so many things that are good for us. And I believe that I've just been coming to realize how pervasive evil is. I think we know that, but like even in our individual lives, in the forms of things attacking our minds and our bodies and our spirits and our spouses and our children and our marriages and our jobs and our all the things, our health. So yeah, if faith is not something you think about, friends, I really encourage you to do that. It's really easy to go through life and be preoccupied with all of our things, with our duties and our jobs and our whatever it is. But at some point, we will not still be here. And what happens after we're no longer on this earth is something that we should think about, even though we don't really want to on a regular basis. Thanks for being here, my friends. I hope you have a blessed day, and I hope you'll be back again next time when I'll be here helping you to handmake with love.